Dino Overhaul X. Many have said that this mod is the hardest mod out there, with a brutal progression system that will have you sacrificing your favorite tames in hopes of getting a stronger one. Every time you venture out, you have the chance of being set back massively, as that dino you grinded to get for multiple hours randomly dies to a leech who exploded everything around it. I died 63 times in the hunted 100 days, so I now have 100 days to spend in docks and complete a variety of goals along the way. But there's a catch. For every goal I fail, I have to give away $250 to a random subscriber or Twitter follower, so make sure you watch all the way until the end to find out how you can win. Do you think I can do it? Place your bets now, and here we go. So my journey started lost on a random island beach with a scratchy arm, using the diamond embedded in it to craft tools and a spear that I impaled into the skull of a nearby dodo to harvest its hide and meat. I placed down a foundation as well as a mortar and pestle, used my pick to harvest up flint and stone for cooking pots, as they're a great source of early experience. I cooked up some dodo before jumping up to the high ground, where I could turn a tortoise into a porcupine, and crafting up a set of hide, a forge, and a smithy as the day came to an end. I started the morning by crafting up a metal pick and hatchet before I found a nearby apex dodo that I was able to kill for experience. A pteranodon flew down to me, so I decided to give it my meat, as yes, it is a passive tame, before running down the beach to kill another apex dodo, only to have a dilo show up, glitch into me, and kill me. Well, that's the first death. I'll have to get my revenge on some dilos at some point. I finished taming up a Terra, but was still short of some chitin for its saddle, so I threw a bunch of spears into this parasaur's head before he fell into a deep sleep, so I gave it a back massage with my axe. I was taming another Terra when I decided to try trap it, except that made everything aggro onto me. Good thing there was not much around me, so I was able to get away. So I turned my attention to a stego and began to pelt it with spears. I did manage to trap it in spikes before being able to finish it off and harvest up the keratin. So as the sun was rising to signal the start of day 3, I took to the skies on my freshly saddled pteranodon, flying off in search of some crystal. I couldn't quite find any nearby, as this is my first time actually playing on Lost Island. I did get some obsidian that allowed me to make a pair of scissors to give myself the appropriate haircut. Well, at least once my hair grows out. I hunted down some more apex dodos, as they're a great source of experience, as well as a small amount of basic docks metals, which I'll be needing a lot of if I hope to progress further than just the thatch foundation on the beach. I got back to base to find a trike wandering nearby, so I shoved a couple measure berries into it to make it my friend. I got home in the morning, where I named my Terra Trevor with a P and named my trike Trickster before taking off in pursuit of crystal. Harvested it up, made an awesome spyglass and some soul balls, and I collected this blue drop for an ascendant stego saddle. And just wait a minute, does that saddle only have 17 armor? Yeah, in docks, saddles have reduced armor and pretty much everything can kill you. I am playing this on medium difficulty settings, which should equate to a decent challenge, as I aim to defeat a Compy Prime by day 25. I need to defeat one of these, as they have a chance to give you Prime Kibble, an item that is necessary to be able to ride Apex Manticores and Apex Dragons. I got back to base and used my trike to gather up some stone, wood, and berries before killing some Apex Carbos, Dilos, and Dodos, as I wanted more metals to make myself the docks workbench. As the Apex hunt continued in the morning of day 5, I had these interesting dock spears. I felt like testing them out. Whoever decided to strap grenades to a spear, brilliant idea, I love it. I killed another carbo as I saw the Titan Overlord himself appear overhead, the ultimate final boss of docks. We'll have to see if I can beat this absolute titan. But first, I wanted a Xenomacrops, so I killed a bug for its chitin and then found a Xeno stuck in a clip. But with the Prime Compy and a Dimorphodon Prime nearby, I thought it's best to take my leave. I found another Xeno, trapped up Trevor, when an Apex Trike thought I'd overstayed my welcome, but my explosive spears said I could stay. The Xeno finally took some interest in me, got a single bite of food, and then took off like a rocket into the jungle. I tried to follow, but that just drew the attention of a Zomdodo, that decided to give me the equivalent of the bubonic plague. As I saw the Sino I was taming just get munched by some raptors, yay, then to rub it in, another Zomdodo showed up, so I had to turn it into a unicorn. These Zomdodos are one of many zombie variants in DOX, but another game with tons of zombie variants is today's sponsor, Age of Origins. I used to love playing tower defense games when I was younger, and Age of Origins brings exactly that to your phone. In Age of Origins, you act as a commander who just took over a city in this ruined world, developing research, expanding your city, and fending off waves of zombies, just like this dodo. Now, this is not just a solo game. You can build diplomatic relations with people all playing the game as you try to create the ultimate defensive city in this doomsday world. You can try making use of Lucy and her biochemical zombie, one of many different officers and troops in Age of Origins. Perhaps you might even get Genshin or Empress. These two titans, no, not you Titan Dragon, have unique skills and abilities that can deal some insane damage to your foes as they try to siege you. But that's not all. You can take part in mini-games such as Tower Cannon Defense, fend off many different zombies using the Pew Pew Laser Tower, Electricity-filled EMP, or even the Rocket Launching Missile Tower. PvP with other players, and watch it all expand on the world map as you witness different crises happening around you. So go now and download Age of Origins using my link below to get a head start, as you will receive an exclusive gift pack worth $60. I look forward to seeing you. Hey, Pego, get back here with my phone! I crafted and placed the DOX smithy in the morning before doing my best Breaking Bad impression, crafting a ton of narcotics, and then I found another apex dodo that I kidnapped and brought home to begin shoving berries up its behind, only to have it just begin wandering away. So I followed it, but it did not like that and tried to eat me. So I chose to kill it before it managed to kill me. But that angered this massive ant from Australia, and thankfully running backwards was just fast enough to stay out its range and kill it with my spears. Kidnapped a new dodo, shoved some berries up its butt, and that made it my friend. So I picked him up and threw him back at the base before flying off to kidnap another one. Now, the reason I need these apex dodos is their fertilized eggs are used to make taming treats, which allow you to tame pygmies. Pygmies are super important later on and are not safe to tame, but I'll explain all that later. But coming back to my dodo, she was just doing her best duck impression, paddling off into the distance. Finally tamed her up, and this time I made a 1x1 box that I could use to trap them instead. In the morning, after I tamed up a male apex dodo, I began to let them have some sexy time to begin collecting their eggs, though I did let the first eggs hatch so I'd have some extra females to ensure I had a healthy supply. And that's when I noticed the mega wyvern flying overhead. Now, that is terrifying. So I picked up all my structures and tames before hopping on my pteranodon and flying off to the Redwoods Castle, where I hid in this cave for the remaining 100 days. Nah, I'm just kidding. I have way too much to do if I am to have a chance at completing all these challenges. I set up the base before harvesting some metal to end off the day. I attached some more grade to some sticks in the morning before working on a crop system. I was sick and tired, quite literally and figuratively, from this damn bubonic plague. So I flew off in search of an apex Mesopithecus to murk as they dropped small antidotes. I killed another one when I saw a third, so I flew in to kill it, only to get hit by a wolf. Oh, that was so close. What? How? No. Oh, crap. Oh, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Well, that's a big rip. At least I had already cured my plague. I wanted to get some meat by killing this diplo, but it drained all my stam. So I used my explodey spears to bring it down, except my terror got in the crossfire. Oops. I had a Trudon try to jump me, but thankfully bowlers came to my rescue, and it had just started to get light in the morning when I tranked out a new terror and even swam across the water to begin taming more pteranodons and a dode. As in DOX, you do not want to be left without backup tames. I got home with my terrors and immediately began breeding them to ensure I didn't run out. Also, boy, was I glad I did that, as I flew out my base when I saw a fire wyvern. Too bad that it saw me as well and turned me into a KFC zinger. So as I rose from my death, I hatched up some of those baby terrors to imprint and raise up as I spent the remaining parts of the day farming my crop plots. I wanted some tranks so I could begin taming some apex dinos, so I flew off in search of some terror birds. I found one, but it was a trap. I just can't do anything. As I woke up again from my forced slumber, I swam off to finish passive taming that dode from earlier, using some kibble I had gotten from those monkey kills. Except its food got completely reset, so I just left it alone. I flew off on my pteranodon when I spotted a wyvern nest on the hill. I thought this was my chance to get an OP early game tame. Yeah, getting wyverns in docks is not that easy. So allow me a moment to quickly explain how eggs work in docks. You will find these nests all around the Ark. They can either be a wyvern, dragon, or manticore nest. With every nest, there is a nest defender. And these defenders are not something you want to mess around with. You can only steal the egg by either killing the defender or successfully leading it away. But be careful, if you lead a defender too far away, a new one will just pop up in its place. Also at this point, you may notice the death counter increasing between cuts. That's simply because in docks, I am going to be dying a lot. I needed some polymer in the morning, so I flew off to the snow when an RG just got pissed off at my mere presence and killed me, dropping me into the snow. Thankfully, I was already close enough to go clubbing with the penguins, but this stupid spiky sauropod decided to be a bouncer and kick me out. Towards the end of the day, I landed out on this remote island with a lone Bronto on it. I had heard they are pretty powerful early game docks tames, so I began to shove berries up but even though I wasn't quite sure how I could reach, while waiting around, I used my trike trickster to gather up some berries and rare flowers? As yeah, this island turns out to be a fantastic rare flower location. The sun rose as I fed the final berry to the Bronto before trapping it up and flying off. I saw this cute little Rex X wild. He seemed friendly, but as soon as I tried to fly away, his roar knocked me out the sky. Well, that could have ended badly. I ended up snatching an Omega Rock Drake egg that I was able to hatch at my base, as they apparently just need torches in this, before imprinting the Drake when I needed some more chitin. So I fought these giant ants. I seriously never expected them to deal so much damage. I thankfully got away easily and was able to kill off a couple for their chitin, and I used that chitin to make myself some cementing paste, so that I could make myself a DOX refining forge, a necessary structure to smelt all my titanium and tungsten, metals in DOX that are used to craft many different structures. I took some time to read the DOX Book of Smarts, which has a handy guide of how to get started, and considering this is the first time I have actually touched the mod, I looked at this book a lot. I managed to bowler and kill a sheep in the morning for that tasty mutton. Then I flew off to find an Apex Pygmys, a pig that does give a decent chunk of early metals. I eventually found one and hopped on my Bronto to begin bringing it down. I was able to use the Bronto to bring down a few more Apexes, when as I was flying home, I saw a max level Apex Thylacoleo. I knew I wanted to tame it. So at the base, I made a grappling hook before setting off back to the Thyla, as I had a crazy idea. I jumped off my Terra and parachuted. I know, right? I used a parachute before grappling to the Pteranodon and slowly lowering myself closer to the ground. I aggroed the Thyla over with a crossbow before lobbing some trank grenades down to trank out the Thyla. I then spent the remaining entirety of the day babysitting the Thyla, feeding it my meat, and just camping out in the redwood to cook up some more mutton for the Thyla, who I ended up naming Chaotic Coleo. I saddled my Thyla up in the morning before heading out the cave fighting Sarcos, Pteranodons, and chimps before I may have gotten slightly too confident. Yeah. I flew off on my Terra to try and find some oil when I got notified that the Titan Turkey had arrived. In docks, there is a complex line of progression with many different tiers of dinos, You get apexes, primes, fire, ice, megas, as well as a few others, but the strongest of all of those before you get the Titan Overlord are Titans. One of those Titans is the Titan Turkey, a massive Thanksgiving dinner that walks around the map dropping these gifts for you to steal. So I had a plan: steal loot from the Titan Turkey. I managed to snag some kibbles, DOX prime meats, element, and gems. I wanted to get more goodies, but well, that turkey minion decided I had enough. I was short of 1 oil in the morning, just 1, so I needed to find a jug bug. I grapple parried up to the top of my cliff, led some compies and a dire bear off of the cliff because I just didn't feel like dealing with them. And then I grabbed the liquid gold from out of the jug bug before parachuting all the way down to my base, where I crafted up a soul terminal as I planned to mass breed pteranodons to ensure I always had a flyer to get around. I spent the rest of the day imprinting some baby terrors, repairing my armor, and killing those compies which were invading my base. Used my trike to harvest up some crystal and metal before placing down a behemoth gate to prevent things entering my base, like the Sarko that I had to kill by grappling to the ceiling and filling with spears. I flew up in the morning to tame myself a Maywing, as they are incredibly speedy little things, and even though I had pteranodons, Maywings are just amazing. I eventually found one I wanted and placed some wooden billboards on it to begin tranking it out. Ding! Yeah, that can be passive tame. I flew up high into the sky to de-render it before replacing my billboards to prevent it running away. Fed it twice with the kibble and I now had my very first Maywing. Trapped it up and flew to the next one so that I could have 2 to be able to breed them. I did have to trap a Parasaur to be able to kill it so I'd have some prime when I finally tamed them up and saw an Apex Sarko as I was prepping to leave. I finally killed it in the morning of day 18 and had to make a break for it in order to claim the loot, some of which was 2 Sarko eyes. A very important ingredient for later on in the playthrough, as they are one of the ingredients to make sacrifice potions, something we will be needing a lot of, but I will explain how all of that works later in the video. Flying home where I set up my Maywings to begin breeding. I needed to expand my crop area as you require every type of crop in order to make treats that are used for taming and evolving pygmies. So I finished harvesting some wood for setting out on my Maywing that I named Snoople's Revenge, a homage to my saddest death in the Savage Acro 100 days. I arrived in the swamp where my Bronto gathered me a bunch of seeds, rare flowers and mushrooms, and even killed some Sarko's berries and apexes to close off the day. I was still out trampling through the forest on my Bronto when I saw there was a nearby pygmy, which normally isn't an issue until my Bronto just died from beneath me from an Apex King Kong Prime. I have no idea how I never died myself, but I didn't even see where the King Kong was. I thankfully was able to fly home on Snoople's Revenge to offload my stuff before heading in search of a new Bronto to tame. I found a small herd of them in the morning, but I had one problem. I accidentally aggroed a stego and was killing it only to get impaled. Damn, that was a rip. I began to run home only to get sniped by a Yeti Prime on my way home. Oh, I'm so gonna kill you, you stinking Yeti. After reviving at the base, I threw out some baby Maywings to raise up who I named Sunples Jr., Snooples Jr., Snuffles, and Snoop Snoop. Planted my seeds and shoved animal poop into the crop plots. I then built a little dodo pen where I could leave my dodos on breeding to collect their fertilized eggs for pygmy taming treats. In the morning, I built up some walls at the entrance to my cave and crafted my very first pygmy taming treats. Made some more trank grenades before flying off to the desert in search of an apex griffin to tame. I found one and was beginning to aggro it to come closer to the ground. Run! Run! Why did I stop to get the... Yeah, that was a prom death worm. Yet another deadly prom I'll have to fight at some point. At some point, a Carno must have snuck into my base, but thankfully was killed by my trike before setting up a feeding trough and checking what I needed to make that rock drake saddle. And I needed red gems. So I looked up a guard and headed off to the entrance of the cave. Entering the cave, I began to fight my way through as there was no sneaking around here, taking on scorpions, carnos, and rabid dogs from Aberration. That was close, but rip to yet another Maywing. I hid out in the ceiling for a bit, trying to kill the creepy crawlies beneath me, but decided it's best to simply grapple away. I had to find these red gems, but looking through the cave, I could not see them anywhere. But the scorpion prom saw me instead. I'm dead. It was not worth going back to that cave, so I abandoned hopes of using my rock drake to instead make some more pygmy treats, as I wanted to finally get one. Now it's time I explain how you tame pygmies. Pygmy taming is relatively simple, but very dangerous if you're unlucky. You need to sneak up to a pygmy and put taming treats in its inventory. It then has a random chance to tame or fail. If it tames, congrats, you have a new pygmy that will be your friend and give you some buffs. If it fails, then it will have a chance to summon Vanguard King Kong, a massive gorilla that throws deadly giant feces at you. Not only that, but if you scare a pygmy while trying to put treats in it, you better hope there is no Mega Kong nearby, as he will aggro and kill you in roughly 0.5 seconds. So with that said, let's tame this pygmy. One failed treat, but thankfully no Vanguard, and success. Let's go! First ever pygmy tame. I brought him home and checked him out a bit, before flying off in the morning to tame yet another pygmy. This time the little RG was awkwardly over the ocean, so I just gently scared it closer to the land, managed to get some treats into it before hopping on the Terra and flying into the sky. Boy, am I glad I did so. It failed twice and that brought in Vanguard Kong. So I let him out into the ocean while my pygmy successfully tamed. I also gave some candy to a Giganot pygmy who tamed on the first treat, and I named him Littlefoot when the day came to an end. I wanted one more Giganto pygmy, so I'd have 4 pygmies in total, when I flew too close to a Theory and was swatted. My Terra ended up dying to the bleed damage, and I figured I may as well try for the pygmy anyway. So gave it the treats before hiding out on a mountain. It tamed on the 4th treat, and 0 Vanguard spawned in. So that's 4 pygmies for the cost of 8 treats? Is that good luck? You can let me know. I killed an apex snake, which gave me a DOX poison rifle that I can use to trank things out. Then I was taming another pygmy, but I wasn't too lucky this time, as Vanguard Kong killed me on the first fail. I now needed to get myself some apex Dilo eggs, as their eggs are used to create the next tier of treats that are required to evolve pygmies. As pygmies are more than just cute shoulder mounts who give you some buffs. Pygmies can be evolved to apex pygmies, which give increased buffs. Apex pygmies can then be evolved to your very own prime dino. I eventually found and tranked out some apex dilos that I was able to trank and tame by shoving my meat into it before surfing, gliding and sliding my way back to the base. Threw out the dilos to start laying some eggs when I needed some more metals to make a DOX mining forge. So I started hunting down apex Phiomias with my Maywing, only to have an apex dragon hunt me down instead. Waking up back at the base with a massive headache, almost as if I had just died. So I threw out even more Maywings to raise up, as at this point they're just sacrificial flyers, before imprinting all of them to end off the day. But with the day ending and having not yet killed an apex compy prom, a dino I was meant to kill by today, so I've actually failed one challenge already. so that $250 added to the giveaway fund. But now I have until day 50 to defeat a Mega, the second strongest tier of dinos right below Titans. I easily tamed a Dode Pygmy in the morning of day 26, as with the Maywing you could just glide around and dodge all poops. But thankfully no monk has spawned anyways, so I spent the rest of the day harvesting some flint for spark powder to make more trank grenades, and raising up even more Maywings. I flew off in the morning to hunt down some more Apex Phiomia, but there was a little problem. An Apex Wyvern was guarding the Phiomia I wanted to kill. So I tried to aggro it away, but it wasn't very interested. And this is when I learned you can't simply lead a nest protector away to steal the egg, as they get stopped by an invisible barrier. So I pulled out my poison gun to shoot it, but I was too greedy as it promptly one-shot me before I could get away. So respawning, I saddled up Snooper and found a new Wyvern on the nest. So I instead went and killed an Apex Carno, Apex Gotcha, and another Apex Phiomia. I even got a rainbow pistol from one of them. I did have a super close call after I dived straight into a theory. That's a theory! Why are they always theories? No, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Pick you up. No, you're gonna die. Ooh. So I just got the heck out of there to get back to base.
Get away.
I found a max level Bronto to begin passive taming when a massive Sarcopocalypse happened. I killed so many of the crocs with my poison rifle, it was insane. Only for the Bronto I was taming to wander off near the Fire Wyvern nest. I found another Bronto which actually killed an Apex Compy Prime. And then a Sabertooth showed up as I was grabbing the Compy's loot and killed Snooper and myself. But one of the items was my first enhanced armor piece. An enhanced cloth hat. You get 5 different types of enhanced armor: cloth, hide, chitin, riot, and manticore. You can get the cloth to riot armors all by fighting random strong apexes, primes, and megas, while the manticore armor is acquired by fighting more specific megas that I will cover later. These armors all come with different stats and effects, but most important of all, they have a set bonus and are absolutely crucial when it comes to fighting late game primes, megas, or even titans. You can also get corrupted versions, but that's not important right now. So I'll need to collect a full set of every type of armor at some point in this video. And then I wanted to make more treats, but for those I needed kibble. So I set up a cooking pot to begin crafting it, and I named one of my RG Pygmys the Chosen One, before giving it some treats in an attempt to evolve it. It did on the second treat, so I now had an Apex Argent Pygmy. I tried to evolve some more, but they just ate all the treats, the greedy little tykes. So in the morning, I flew out in search of some golden dodos, as they drop a good amount of DOX meats that I need to evolve my Apex Argent Pygmy. The dodo got itself stuck on the terrain and I was able to easily bite at its butt and belly flop on it to kill it. That gave my Maywing over 100 levels, so I named them Super Snooples, before flying off to kill yet another golden dodo that again got stuck in the terrain and gave me an easy opportunity to kill it for even more meats. Once I got home, I grabbed my Apex Argent, shoved it full of 25 random DOX meats, and boom! My very first Apex Prime! And it's a unique! Now, uniques are a new addition to DOX, which are basically just a super rare creature you can get that has boosted stats even better than ancient variants. I named the Argent Data Sufferwing, after one of my patrons and admin who is also playing on the server. My servers are always open to patrons while I am recording before being made public. So if you want to try out Dino Overhaul X for yourself or one of my many other servers, join the Discord using the link in the video description. I needed some electronics for my DOX mining forge, so I went out on Sufferwing to kill some bugs for chitin to make cementing paste to make a fabricator. I flew out in the morning of day 31 to gather more chitin, when I came across another rock trek egg. Phew, glad my Argent could save me from that Marcoraptor. I set up myself an upgrade station before finally giving my Argent a saddle for armor, and flying off in search of silica pearls for electronics. I tried to use my Argent minions to kill Manticore and a dragon, but they were just too slow. But that's when I saw an apex Dodo Rex. So I flew down to it, tranked it out, shot it with a metabolism dot, and then shoved in my meat and had my brand new Dodo Rex. It was decently strong, being able to kill apex terrors, morellatops, and brontos. I eventually came up to another wyvern nest, and I was tempted to try and lead it away with my minions, but yeah, it was wrecking my little baby Argies. So I came back and found the wyvern had gone, so I yoinked myself a nice little apex tropical wyvern egg. I managed to kill a prime compy for some experience and some loot, including some riot leggings. I spent the rest of the day killing prime compies before finding a manticore nest. I sent in my minions and they almost killed it, so I flew in myself and attacked twice before being able to kill it. My first manticore egg. I just had one issue. I didn't yet have any prime kibble, so even if I hatched this manticore, I would not be able to ride it. From one of the compy kills, I got a Xenomacrop summoning artifact, and gosh, these things are so cute. And with a little crown too. So I named him Flappers. I also summoned in some droids which gave me some polymer, electronics, and crystal. So I finally made my DOX industrial mining forge. Now these are great. Simply stick some gas in it and they will passively harvest DOX metals for you. I decided to evolve my Giganto up to prime level and got another unique. So we are 2 for 2 on the unique Gamba. So I named the Monkey Harambe, and he's pretty damn strong. But in DOX, you don't want to be on the ground if you can help it. So I began to hatch my manticore egg. The baby hatched up, so I imprinted him and left him to raise up while I wanted to test my monkey. So I found a compy prime I was able to kill, giving me yet another enhanced piece before fully leveling the monkey when I saw a mega shadow mane. Now this is a scary foe, but being me, I wanted to poke it. So I flew up into the sky with my Sufferwing and began sending in the minions. They were actually dealing some really good damage, so I sent in some more, but the Shadowmane must have seen me. Rip. I really should have just left it alone. I had to repair my crop pipes after waking up so I could make some more treats to evolve my second Argent Prime. No unique though. So I evolved a Dode to Prime 2, but no unique there either. I then flew off on my new Argent in search of more golden creatures to kill. I found and killed a golden dodo, pteranodon, and another pteranodon when one of the dodos happened to be near yet another mega shadowmane. But being the greedy loot goblin I am, I went in anyway to steal the loot. Success! Not even close. So taking all my loot, I flapped my way home to dump off all my goodies when I needed more oil. So arriving at a beach in the morning, I hopped on my monkey and went swimming to kill the sea cucumbers. I got a couple thousand oil before flying home on my Maywing, and you can just see how insanely speedy these guys are. I got home and made myself another mining forge to up my metal production before flying off to the desert where there was a mega compy. I first tried sending in Argent minions, but that wasn't quite effective enough. So I hopped on Harambe to begin lobbing my opinions at it. That wasn't working, so I just ran straight in and whacked it. First mega of the playthrough done. That counts, right? No? Fine, doesn't count. I need to kill a different mega by day 50 then. I found a Mega Raptor to try bring down, but a Vanguard Kong that was in the area found me first. Yeah, rip Argent Prime number 2. So I flew up on a Terra in hopes of finding some easy primes to kill with Harambe, but the first few Raptors I found all had fast HP regen, so I ignored those. and instead found one with no buffs at all. Hopped on Harambe before slapping a raptor to death for loot. I wanted to fight even more, only to run straight into a poison golem who promptly one-shot me. RIP. Do not mess with the golems. They are super powerful. I really wanted to use my manticore, but having not received any prime kibble yet, I had to start killing some more primes. So I evolved another Argent and went out just sending minions at everything, trying to fight dire bears, raptors, and more. But they were all either in a bad spot or had that dang fast health regen buff. So I flew off to try find yet another one, only to... I logged back in to find I was set back quite a bit due to a rollback, so I hopped on my Argent after whistling it down. I could see there was a prime nearby, but not quite sure where, so I was flying along as this happened. Yeah. Ouch. I evolved another... You know what? I evolved lots of things in this series, so allow me to do you a favor, and I'll only show you the important evolutions. I named the Kong Littlefoot before fighting another compy prime and another one, and that gave me prime kibble. I was genuinely so happy. I was almost as happy as when I got that angler gel in the Hunted 100 days. But this was exactly what I needed to be able to use my manticore. I flew off to perform a mass compy killing spree before turning my sights on some Apex Pygmys. These are very important kills, as their heads are one of the components to evolve your manticore into an Apex Ice Manticore. I continued the compy hunt into day 40, killing tons of the little ankle biters for all of their loot when I came across another manticore nest, but that was a big mistake. I desperately dodged and weaved before I eventually got away, losing the manticore in the trees. So I went back to see if a new one had spawned with weaker buffs, and one had. So I grabbed my rainbow pistol and flew off to the manticore. But it wasn't very effective, so I just abandoned the idea until tomorrow. It had just crossed midnight as I went into battle. The coward ended up running away as my manticore was about to trank out, but thankfully it didn't. So I scooped up the egg and, satisfied with my prize, flew back into the base. I summoned some more pygmies and chibis, and one pygmy I got was a Kairuku. And since earlier on I got a Kairuku enhancement part, I decided to evolve it. I went out, and the Kairuku has this awesome ability to rain down explosive penguins around it, as well as summon some Yeti minions. So I chose to fight this Raptor Prime. Well, that didn't go as planned. I tried to get my revenge using a Prime Dode and my pistol, but apparently raptors had discovered the power of flight, so I needed a new plan. I tried using my manticore to kill the raptor, but without that manticore enhancement part, it would just die. So I went out to kill more compies, and yeah, do you see that? Well, I didn't. Somehow, I didn't die myself, so I was able to parachute to safety and jump on Harambe, as I wanted that manticore loot back. I managed to grab it with my soul gun and began the dangerous run home when I was attacked by an Apex Pygmys, and it dropped its head. You know, losing that manticore might have been worth it, but it still made me sad. I thankfully had a backup, but now that I had that head, I thought I'd try my luck against a Yeti. So using an Argent Prime, I began to send in minions, but it was healing too quick for me to be able to kill it. I spent the morning of day 43 killing more compies when I realized this mod adds striders, by far the best creature for harvesting, and considering I got some mutagel from one of the compies, I flew off to go and tame one. I found one with the harvesting attachment that just so happened to be green as well, so I hacked into its AI and tamed it. And these mechanical tech giraffes are truly awesome for harvesting resources. And after bringing the strider home, I wanted to try again to bring down the Yeti, but I thought my Kong Prime might be a good option. So I took him out on a leveling spree before getting home and using the Strider to do some quick harvesting. I made some health potions and grabbed my Apex Dode Pygmy before running off to the Yeti. Let's do this. Oh, that was quick. I spent the rest of the day and morning of day 45 dodging poops and taming a monkey pygmy, only to have it get eaten by a Sarco, before using my Argent to bring down the Vanguard Kong, but he MLG 360 no-scoped me as I tried to land for stamina. I set up a transmute shrine as this structure allows you to summon a variety of different creatures, such as ancient primes, megas, and titans. I wanted to get some ancient primes, but first I went to committing penguin genocide before moving on to the trilobites for their silica pearls. Sorry Nettie. The shark got revenge though and ate me. So I just finished the trilobite poaching with my Maywing, and I spent the next day hunting compy primes, collecting enhanced armors, prime kibble, and dox meats. Then once I got home I set up some loadout stations, so I could easily track what enhanced armors I still needed to get. Then in the morning, I placed down my very first mega wall. These walls are the ultimate defense for your base, as they will remain rendered in no matter where you are on the map. So a mega dragon won't just accidentally wander into your base. But with these walls, getting in and out was going to be a pain. So I crafted up an awesome teleporter remote to be able to easily get in and out, as well as named my Strider What a Lot I Got, before heading out to kill even more compies in search of a Manticore enhancement part. Dead compy, dead compy, dead compy, enhancement part! That's awesome! Now, this enhancement part allows you to use the X attack, so you have a much more reliable ranged attack. I immediately flew home where I was able to use the upgrade station to increase the armor of the Manticore saddle, before turning it into a blueprint, as I did not want to lose this item. I was short of electronics in the morning, so I flew up to the desert, as there are these Star Wars drones all over the place that you can kill for metal, electronics, and polymer. My only issue? I couldn't hear the tremors as a death worm prime rose from the ground, killing me instantly. I needed to get those electronics, so I hopped on Super Snooples to go and get back that loot. And as fast as he was, the Deathworm's poison balls were faster, as they caught up to and killed Super Snooples. I didn't want to risk another Maywing, so I instead went and killed another Basilo for its oil to make a grinder, so I could crush up all those extra saddles, armor pieces, and weapons. And day 49 started, and I went off to fight yet another mega copy, before teleporting to the penguin's tribe base, which happened to be underwater. So I had to swim all the way up, and there was yet another mega compy I wanted to fight. And my monkey was able to just scale entire cliffs. I went into the fight with the compy and got my ass handed to me. Yeah. Note to self, even if you killed something before, doesn't mean you can always kill it. I wanted to get myself an ancient prime, but for that you need prime hearts, which are acquired in one of two ways. You can either choose to sacrifice your favorite prime, or gather the hearts by getting them as drops from primes and megas. Now, since I didn't have a way to reliably kill primes and megas, I knew I would need to sacrifice evolved primes. So I flew off on a massive pygmy taming spree, dodging poops, fighting carnos, and using my Sino to help get treats into Argent. If only I had a white van, would have made giving out this candy so much easier. But then a dang Daedon killed my Maywing, so I killed it with my poison rifle. I raised up 3 Pygmies into strong primes, shoved a Sarco R potion down their throats as a sacrifice to get 3 prime hearts. So I summoned in my very first Ancient King Kong Prime. I chose to name him Pring Kong after one of my patrons. I set up an awesome teleporter in the morning of day 51 that I named the Nat Cave, And now I'm sure you've realized the only mega I killed by day 50 was a mega compy, which, as we said, doesn't count, so that's another $250 added to the giveaway pot. I now have until day 75 to fully advance to the Tek Tier, so that includes killing a variety of powerful megas, including Mega Kong, Mega Manticore, and Mega Shadowmane. The day continued by taming even more Pygmys. I did say you have to tame a lot of these in docks, and now, cause these enhanced armor pieces are such RNG, all I needed to complete the ride set was the helmet. I decided to do a trade with Protorax, trading one of my Riot gloves for a Riot helmet. I flew off in the morning on a fresh new Argent Prime, killing Manticores, Wyverns, and Compy Prime. I got home and decided to try for round whatever to kill the stupid Yeti Prime. I first tried sending in my Wyvern minion, which is a random Prime that Ancients can summon every 5 minutes. So I grabbed my Argent to send in more minions. The strategy was not working. So I had an idea to use guns. Except the Yeti I was killing was murdered by a Mega Dodo Rex. But that's when its minions turned to me, so I noped right out of there. And since my Yeti was gone, I spent more time hunting Apex Pithecus as well as a Prime Dire Bear who I just flung with some poop before giving him a slap. I was hunting another when I noticed a Mega Dinopithecus chasing me, so I immediately teleported out. Yeah, that was scary. So I chose to poke it with my minions. Wait, I learned this already. Don't poke the Megas. So I just flew off as I wanted propellant to make more explosive bullets to kill that Yeti. So I went Apex Mesopithecus hunting, as in case it wasn't clear by now, Dox has creatures dropping very specific items, and in the case of an Apex Mesopithecus, it drops lots of Chem Bench related items. I came across an Apex King Kong Prime, so I sent in my minions to take it out, which was actually successful. So I got a King Kong Prime head, another component I need to evolve my Manticore, before taking on a Prime Dire Bear with my Monkey. I was finally feeling confident fighting some Prime. Like, I was learning. I even killed a Prime Dode with bee minions and poop. But now, I just had to get myself an evolved Manticore, so I have to kill that damn Yeti. At least now I had a complete set of Hide, Chitin, and Riot enhanced armors. I wanted to execute plan, kill Yeti Prime. But first, I needed to augment my Dode enhanced saddle, so it would have a bunch more armor, and level it up. So I rolled off to kill a Compy Prime, and pumped all the levels into health. I began to run to the Yeti. Now, the Dox players watching this will have already noticed the mistake I have made. Finally got close to the Yeti, and took my first shot. I was too far away, so I ran closer and scared a Pygmy, and I was immediately swarmed by Mega Kong's minions and killed. And that is why you don't run around on the ground in Dox. I made a new Dode saddle and crafted up an industrial cooker for more kibble to turn into treats, before leveling up a new Prime Dode, and this time I chose to fly to the Yeti. Hopped on my Dode and began shooting it with my explosive rounds while smashing the ground with my Dode. We got the Yeti down to half health as it managed to kill me. I was not going to give up this opportunity, so I raced back to the Yeti and jumping on my Kong, summoned in minions and killed it with a final poop throw to the head. Epic! One step closer to my first Ice Manticore. There was two other items that I got from that Yeti kill, and that was the Dox Tech Rifle, a very powerful weapon that will definitely be put to use later. I also got the final piece of my enhanced Chitin armor set, an armor set that gives your tame some epic buffs, including being immune to fire damage. But now, I needed more Manticore eggs and Lightning Wyvern talent, and I was fighting another Manticore only to almost get tranked out, so I came back on my Monkey. But I ran into a Zomdodo Prime which summoned in its own horde of minions to fight me. I had to wander the cliffs for a bit in order to find the Manticore nest, but it was being guarded by a Mega Dinopithecus. I went for the egg, began teleporting away, grabbed it, and was then left behind. So I jumped off the nest and ran, but I was too slow and killed. Thankfully, my Monkey had a tracker in him, so I could just pull him to me with the teleporter remote, but I now had everything I needed. So I set up some aircons, killed all my droids for electronics, though I did keep one who I named R2D2, and hatched up my manticores before imprinting them. While they were raising up, I went on a massive Sarco hunt for their art to make an abundance of sacrifice potions. And in the morning, I went out pygmy taming, only to get sniped by Vanguard Kong. I should have just stuck with Maywings for this. So I did just that and was able to easily tame the pygmy, dodging all necessary poops. I wanted these dodes as I needed 2 prime hearts, as Docs had a new mechanic. You could use prime hearts to breed your manticores. Now at this day, it was still pretty bad, but they changed this feature later on, so I only got 1 manticore at this stage for 2 hearts used. I also sacrificed my prime argent, and that gave me an argent token. One of 10 unique tokens that you need to collect from different prime sacrifices in order to summon the Mega Rex, the ultimate killer that I would need in order to fight Titans. Are you confused yet on how Docs works? Because I certainly was. So shout out to Protorax, one of my patrons, as well as to Casavad, another YouTuber, as my 2 Docs experts who helped me a ton with advice and answering my questions throughout this journey. I killed another Apex Pithecus for its head in the morning before getting one-shot by a Pithecus Prime, because I poked it. I mean,
that was
I
a
have to
big
learn
snowball.
somehow other than just asking. Before heading out to tame more pygmies, yet another one of those things you have to do a lot in Docs. But this time, I saw the Titan Queen, a massive spider from Australia, so I instead went off to tame a prime compy. These will be used later to help me get some stronger dinos and armor. I was still out pygmy taming in the morning, but thankfully Xenos make it very easy to do, but dodging monkey poops in the dense fog was not as easy. Thankfully I managed to do it without dying, before spending the rest of the day hunting down some more Apex Pithecus for their heads. I finally had everything I needed to evolve my first ice manticore. I now just had to hatch the egg and raise the baby. I ended up evolving some Jaboa pygmies, as these little guys are actually slot machines, which allow you to sacrifice weapon blueprints and a prime head for a chance to win hearts, kibble, and the prestigious Docs Fat Man, a rocket launcher that can shoot mini nukes. I ended up placing down a cliff platform for some extra space in the base, and my ice manticore was fully raised in the morning, so I went out to level it up before turning my eyes on a prime phoenix. I wanted its head. I eventually froze it to death, giving me its head, so next on the list was killing some apex dragons for their scales, wyverns for their talons, and manticores for their nests. I tamed yet another compy in the morning of day 63 before coming across a prime fire wyvern. I flew in to hit it with my ice spikes. Yeah, I got wrecked. So now I need a new ice manticore, which means I have to kill the Yeti again. Fuck! I hatched all the eggs I had stolen while just jumping around the base for a bit before imprinting my wyvern, dragon, and manticore to end off the day. Day 64 started with evolving pygmies into primes just to sacrifice them, so I could summon in a new ancient prime to help me kill the remaining creatures I needed for a fire manticore. Hunting down Dodo Rexes, wyverns, and I did try and fight a void worm, but was immediately dismounted.
Oh, they dismount you, the stupid things.
Phew, that almost went badly, but I still had to kill wyverns for their talons. I woke up in the morning to give some kibble to all my hatchlings so I could actually ride them, as well as evolving my manticore into a fire one. I hatched up the baby so I could imprint it, but now, remember how my ice manticore died a horrid death? I needed to kill a new Yeti, so I evolved a new dode that I'd need to level up, and I flew out my base, and there was a prime ferox outside my base. Now I never wanted one outside, so I sent in my minions to take it out, but that was a big mistake. The Ferox broke through my walls like it was nothing, killing dragons, manticores, and even my Strider. So much death. I replaced the mega walls and even double layered it for safety. I eventually led it away off to fight this Yeti. I had an Apex Dode Pygmy, full enhanced riot gear, a max Dode enhanced saddle, a max level Dode, a max damage tech rifle, and a bunch of health potions. Let's do this. Well, that went easier than expected. I guess the Yeti ain't so scary anymore. I saddled up my Fire Manticore and went out farming some compies when I had an idea for how I was going to kill a Deathworm Prime. The next biggest challenge I would have to kill in order to evolve my Manticore. I flew off to the desert where there was an Apex Rex I was able to easily tame with my poison rifle before taming a male so I'd have a breeding pair. I plan to use the Apex Rexes as sacrificial units to be able to kill the Deathworm with my Manticore. So once I got home, I set up the Rexes to begin breeding, as well as placed down some aircons in order to hatch the eggs as soon as they drop. I also learned that my Manticore can summon in mini lava golem minions, which I thought was pretty neat. I flew off to the desert in the morning of day 68 before hopping on my Dode and rolling in to battle the Deathworm. Okay, that was way too easy. Guess I didn't need the Apex Rexes after all. So when I got home, I simply put them away, and now I needed more lightning talent to get a new Ice Manticore. So I spent the remaining parts of the day hunting down wyverns to ensure I'd never need more talents ever again. Day 69. Nice. I started the day evolving back my Ice Manticore and imprinting it, before flying off in search of a prime Dimorphodon to fight. I did fortunately realize I had forgotten a Pygmy, so I teleported home to ensure I had that, and went in to fight the Dimorph, dodging its fireballs and cooking its wings. I also had to cook an Argent, including its minions, and it was time to evolve my Ice Manticore into a prime Ice Manticore. Let's go! Wait. What? It failed? Yes. Yes, it did. In DOX, not only are you fighting battles with a chance to lose everything after a single mistake, but that creature's not guaranteed to evolve. Yeah. I now have to go fight another Deathworm, another Argent, and another Dimorph. Let's go. Time to evolve my Manticore. What? It failed again? Okay, let's do this again. Deathworm, Dimorph, Argent. I decided to relax a bit in the morning by doing some Jerboa Gamba, but got nothing of use, but I was now hooked. So I went on a prime hunting spree for heads to sacrifice. Then in the morning, let's do this evolution. Think I need a minute. And rename my Manticore, useless at evolving, before heading back to the desert where I ended up fighting 3 Deathworms at once and won. Dodo Tech Rifle combo is best combo, so I gave my Dode the name Little Ball, tried my luck at the Jerboa slots and still lost. Don't gamble, kids, the Jerboa always wins. Then after I finally had everything I needed yet again, I went for attempt number 4, and useless actually evolved this time. I finally hatched my Apex Ice Manticore Prime Z. Talk about a mouthful of a name. This Manticore is exactly what I plan to use to defeat a Prime Lava Golem. Day 74 was a massive Pygmy evolving spree as I needed more Prime hearts, though I did keep one Tapihara Prime that I named a Ramahara after one of my patrons. I plan to use a Ramahara for a very special mission much later. I chose to give my Manticore the name, finally learned to evolve, before flying out to level up the Manti as it was time to fight Lava Golem Prime. There was one just outside my base, but I really hated the location, so I flew off to find a new one just here in the redwoods above my base, using minions, ice blast, and maneuvering all around the sky. I fought this golem for the entire day, simply learning how to use the Manticore properly, teaching myself how to dodge, and slowly but surely bringing down the golem to receive the Lava Golem Core. Day 75 was almost complete, but I still had no tech to my name, so that is another $250 added to the giveaway pot. And I have no idea how I'm going to beat the Titan Overlord by day 100, but that is my next challenge. So I decided to end off the day by evolving my Manticore. Oh, for Day 76 started by killing yet another golem, and this fight went a lot smoother as I now knew how to do it. I even got some lava golem stones that if I wanted to get my own lava golem at some point, I would be able to. I got home and again Escom made me lose footage of actually evolving my Manticore, but I named him Aragorn. I then set off to find a Mega Aranio, and this fight was relatively simple as the Aranio just grounds you occasionally, but I was able to kill it. I was trying to kill Prime Ferox in the evening only to get too greedy and suffer the consequences. Yeah, don't mess with the Ferox. RIP my Prime Ice Manticore. At least I still had Aragorn, my Prime Fire, as he'd be super helpful in regaining my Ice variant. But I needed to get back my loot, so I flew off to the Ferox who managed to get itself stuck in a cave. So I grabbed my stuff and got the heck out of there. I flew off and found a Mega Carno, and not knowing all of its abilities, just sent some minions on it. And it was the morning of day 78 when I felt confident enough to actually start attacking the Carno. And it was a pretty easy fight, after I realized it takes reduced damage while it has minions out, and those are simply burnt to death. I spent the rest of the day hunting and killing some primes for more loot and heads. And in the morning of day 79, I genuinely had no idea how to progress. My stream told me to get myself a fat man, so I built up a little shack that I named Jerboa Your Luck, led in my Jerboa Prime, who I named the Gambler, before prepping to start gambling every head I own in order to get this fat man, as there is less than a 2% chance to actually get Doc's Fat Man. Let's go! I immediately turned it into a blueprint as I did not want to lose this thing, before flying out in search of Apex Rexes as they drop artifacts. I even got a chibi VAD from one of the Rexes. But it was time to begin my great Tapihara plan, so I gave it a platform saddle, an awesome teleporter, and a few beds. I'm sure you can already see how this will work. I was short of some propellants in the morning of day 80, so I went off to hunt down some Apex Mesopithecus, as well as grabbing a few Manticore eggs along the way. Then by the end of the day I was crafting my very first DOX mini nukes, backup Batman launchers, and a glide suit. So I flew out on a Ramahara to where Mega Shadowmane was. Now I am ashamed to admit it, but at this point in the DOX playthrough I had already gone mad. So I tried this strat over and over and over again, going through multiple mini nukes, armor sets and Fat Man launches. I think it's safe to say this was not a valuable use of my time and resources. But finally on day 84, I managed to bring down the Mega Shadowmane, but in doing so that summons the Giganotosaurus X. Which is exactly what I wanted, as killing the Giga X unlocks the DOX cloning chamber. So it's time to take it on with my Primal Fire Manticore, which was actually a Prime Fire Manticore, but anyway, you get the point. While getting grounded by the Giga and then stunned by the Spino, talk about a double whammy. This fight did not go as planned. Day 85 and I have to change my strategy. So I hopped on a Dode and rolled into battle, launching a nuke and shooting it with my tech rifle.
Oh my god, you can actually tank it. I take that. Very close.
That was
Very
so close to dead. I tried and died and died and died and died. I put my blood, sweat, tears, and literal gravestones into killing the stupid, oversized, snot-slinging Giga. So much was lost, and all for nothing. I don't have anything else I can sacrifice. I give up. I need to go out and just simply re-equip myself. So day 86 was essentially a re-gearing day, evolving Pygmys when I got a unique Dode. I decided to have one final attempt versus the Giga. But I wanted some minions to help draw the fire, so I had a Zomdodo who I sent in the minions before teleporting in and... Okay, I'm done trying to fight it right now. I'll have to find a different strategy. Day 87 was spent gathering dozens of eggs from manticores and then going AFK while they raised up before evolving them into ice and fire variations. And day 88 began and I finished evolving my manties into primes, imprinting them before heading off to the plains in order to summon in some megas in hopes of getting a new Mega Shadowmane to kill. I got a Mega Compy. Yeah, I was able to just kill it with my Wyvern. Then on the second summon, a Mega Shadowmane arrived. So it was time to begin nuking the stupid fish cat, and I had this down to a science. Gliding and shooting back at the Shadowmane, killing the Shadowmane super easily, and this time I got the Giga X fire. A much easier fight than the poison as it can't ground you, or at least it never grounded me. So day 90 started as I flew in to fight this tentacle inspired Giga, dodging and weaving as I shot my ice spine straight into its back for maximum damage, eventually killing it and unlocking the DOX cloning chamber. I TB'd home, crafted it up, the cloning chamber, even placing down a little platform for it. Okay then. So, still no power. So I ran some power cables to it and nothing. You need a tech generator? Come on! Which is unlocked by killing Mega Manticore or the Mega Eel. And then to unlock the tech replicator, you have to kill Mega King Kong. So much to do and only 10 days left. This is gonna be a grind. So day 91, I went off to farm some primes for their heads, evolving up some more manticores and raising up even more babies. Day 92 began and I was able to make use of some awesome new breeding mechanics with the manticores, giving me dozens of eggs for the cheap cost of 4 prime heart relics. When I was given a strategy by data to kill the Mega Reaper Queen. But it didn't really go well. So instead I spent my time killing a Mega Carno. The early morning was spent killing Mega Raptors and Compies because I'll admit I was scared to fight anything else. I did want to kill the Mega Reaper Queen, but I just wasn't very successful. I collected an artifact early on before procrastinating by killing yet more weaker Megas such as the Carno and Aranio. I was genuinely terrified of this mod. I was not prepared for the amount of anxiety and fear I would have with every single boss fight. I tried just spamming minions at the Reaper Queen, but they were pretty useless. I seriously needed a confidence boost at this point, so I was continuing to kill some weak megas and got an Apex Prime Raptor summon. The second token I needed for the Mega X, only 8 more to go. Then day 97 started with hatching a ton of Manticore eggs for backups before flying off to fight the Mega Pithecus. With snowballs that will heat seek you down and a rock throw that would one-shot you fighting it for the entire day. Launching fireballs, dodging rocks, it was going great until... yeah. Docks. One mistake and you lose everything. I woke up in the morning of day 98, just lying on my useless docks cloning chamber, looking up at the ceiling, trying to work out what to do. I had some more manticores that I was about to raise up, so I threw them out their snowballs. 2 unique prime manticores! Woo! Feels so good. I was so excited to get those uniques. And day 99, only 2 days to go, so I went off to fight a Mega Pithecus, only to have it poof out of existence, before moving on to a Mega Dimorph that I was able to kill with my Fire Manticore, before turning my eyes towards the Mega Reaper Queen. I led the oversized needle shooter to a large cliff, where I was able to land on it and aggro it to my Manticore, while I chose to glide behind it and pelt it with Tek Phase Blast from my rifle. I was not giving up this time. Coming back in and this time bringing sleeping bags. I finally managed to kill the Mega Reaper Queen. Woo! Dang, that felt good. I ended up getting myself a Prime Ferox, and these guys can do 2 very important things. They can craft 10 Corruption Crystals into a pure Corruption Crystal, as well as evolve into your very own Prime Reaper. But that marked the end of day 100. It can't end like this. I won't allow it to end like this. Not only have I lost all 4 challenges that I had set out for myself, so that'll be $1,000 that I'll give away over the next month to random subscribers or Twitter followers who click the Gleam link in the video description. But this mod has kicked my ass, made me lose my mind and fear for my life. I want to prove myself by beating this mod, and that means I have to fight the Titan Overlord. Now I know, this is meant to be a 100 days video, so comment something like, wow, that ending was never expected, and I'll give you an extra secret entry for the giveaway. So day 101, damn, it feels weird to say that, I headed off on a massive mega killing spree. I was unstoppable. I was farming these megas to get extra prime heads and farm up what I needed to get the primes I needed for the Mega Rex. But I had to kill Mega King Kong and his flying monkey squadron to be able to clone what I needed for this challenge. So flying into battle, I was able to eventually take him down, even with being terrified at his flying bat minions. I brought him down, unlocking me the Tek Replicator. So I placed one down at the base, crafted up a Tek generator, and I could finally use my dog's cloning chamber. I just needed hundreds and thousands of shards. So I set up a superstructures autocrafter in order to instantly craft thousands of elements into shards, before finally cloning my unique Ice Prime Manticore, who I had aptly named Can't Kill a Monkey. I came across a Mega Dragon that I chose to start fighting, and man, it felt good having the bravery to fight something with the absolute fear of losing it all. Fighting the Mega Dragon was an absolute breeze. Hell yeah. I jumped off the Manticore to go and recover the loot, but accidentally fell to the floor. I'm gonna die to a stupid ant! There we go. Did I really just die to an apex bug? Damn you, Docs. Really had me feeling confident for a moment there. I got all my stuff back as well as that dragon's loot, and I now had myself 2 pieces of the Manticore armor set. Something I also got was an ancient prime ice dragon. So I leveled it up, cloned it, and took it out for a test run. This thing is insane. So of course I had to put it to the real test. The Mega Manticore. Don't kill me, please. Woo! Let's go! Not only do I have 3 Manticore pieces, but that is my 3rd token for the Mega Rex as well. I was finally feeling like I was progressing after so long and so much pain. I even got my revenge against the Mega Pithecus. Day 104 onwards was spent killing some more Megas, including the Mega Wyvern, which turns into a Mega Zombie Wyvern on death. I had to kill the Zombie Wyvern in order to unlock the final piece of Manticore armor. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be so confident. Flying back into battle on a backup clone, and dang, that thing was fast. I was finally able to bring it down. Hell yeah! Managed to get home and finally put on my brand new Manticore armor. Not only did I get the final piece I needed, but I also had the Zombie Wyvern brain that I was able to use to evolve my Prime Ferox into a Prime Reaper. Now this is a powerful tame that I'll be using later on. I also had a Prime Dragon I sacrificed for another token, and then I was back out to farm more Megas in order to progress. In order to progress, I have to get that Mega Rex, as that is what I need to kill my first Titan. Throughout all of this, I was farming corruption crystals from the Megas and artifacts for health potions. I did try and fight a Mega Reaper Queen with my Prime Lava Golem that I'd gotten, but that didn't go too well. Thankfully, by this point I'd gotten pretty good with my Manticore, and I was able to kill the Reaper Queen for yet another Prime Ferox. It was day 110 as I began the Great Compy Gamba, because in DOX you can sacrifice an armor piece and a corruption crystal to get a corrupted piece of armor, before continuing the grind of farming for this goddamn Mega Rex. Day 112, I even set up the Dome to mass summon in Megas, as I just couldn't wait for them to spawn in. And on day 114, I only needed one more token for the Mega Rex, the Prime Dimorph. Now, I was hoping to get it as a drop from all these Megas I had been fighting, but nothing. So I set off to murder some Dimorphs for their blood to summon one in, and I finally had enough to summon in the Apex Dimorph Prime before sacrificing it for the final token. Let's go! Hello Apex Rex Mega Prime. I am almost ready to fight Titans. But here's the deal. Titans have been buffed to all hell. They are no longer possible to defeat solo at all. So some of my patrons who had already defeated the mod were going to be joining the fight with me. The catch? They can only use what I have. So I spent some time gambling corruption stones in order to get corrupted armor, before cloning my Mega Rex in order to ensure I had backups. Protorax and Lingo stopped by and I noticed something. I don't have a Rodan Pygmy, something I desperately needed to get. So I headed out on my Reaper to go and fight Rodan Prime. There we go. There we go.
Woo! Rodan's
Heart
correct, Rodan.
acquired, and with it, my very own Rodan Pygmy. It was day 117 as Protorax and I marched into battle, the massive spider from Australia, the Titan Queen.
No, not this fire breath. Not worth it. Oh, golems. Need to kill the golems.
Okay.
And there goes my Rex.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the minions are just too
Yeah.
much.
Oh, that's gonna knock me out, I'm pretty sure. Should have brought those max corrupted potions. Oh, there we go.
Rip. Just.
I'm right behind you. Oh, there she comes. Oh, she went speed.
We finally brought down the oversized bug and got myself a primal Megapithecus, creature and locked. All that work to get a Mega Rex only to immediately abandon it for a monkey. We spent the next few days farming Titan Queens in order to finally get the primal Manticore. Now this is a Manticore that can deal some damage. It was now time to face the Titan Manticore, who summons in Mega Manticores.
Mega Manticore spawned in. Yeah,
Oof.
the Mega hit harder than the Titan because
Yeah.
their shots are nice.
Titan Manticore is down.
Next on the list, in case you weren't aware, in
Let's
order
go.
to fight the Titan Overlord, you have to kill
Lovely.
3 different Titans to collect their gemstones. So it's time to fight Titan Rodan.
Yeah, I guess we're just. Oh, over.
Whose Primal Manticore just died? Oh, I accidentally hit Titanic. I accidentally hit the Titanic.
You may want to just crowd the Manticores and leave because Overlord will not make this easy on us.
Yeah. I'm about to die. I'm gonna die. I died.
We got absolutely massacred. Yeah, we need a new plan. So we hopped on our Prime Reapers and headed to the desert where we would fight Titan Rodan.
Get him!
Oh wow, we do damage to it.
Oh, we are.
Oh, he's after me.
I don't know if I've done damage to it
It's not
yet.
coming back. Come back.
Oh wow, that damage is.
This is just torture. Just press X. Press X. Press T. A turkey after us.
And the
Oh, no.
brood.
Oh, and the queen.
Right, we're boss killing. Go to the boss killing thing.
Oh, it's a lawless.
We got him down to half health, only to have the Titan Queen show up, so we had to teleport out.
And just
When he
stick
found
together
us
to get the buffs.
Dude. Can't hit him.
Yeah, it's
Ah, too late. Got him. I got back with the shields. I got back with the shields. Okay, he's
Down.
I got the.
Titan Rodan defeated! Let's go! I now had all 3 stones that I would need to summon in the Titan Overlord. But first, I do want to take a moment to thank all my patrons and channel members, as well as you, the viewer who has watched it this far. You are truly incredible. So with the sun rising to signal the start of day 121, I walked up to the Transmutation Shrine and summoned in the all-powerful Titan Overlord.
Oh, it's day 100, I take
Oh, it's like day 130.
it. Oh my good god. Oh, it's just a desert Titan.
It's not just a Desert Titan. Or actually a creature technically.
Oh my god, monkeys. Oh my god.
Your Apex Dodicarus Pygmy was killed. What? I never had a Pygmy. I never had an Apex Dod Pygmy. What?
Like skills to fight this boss. And it's not just
Yeah.
face them.
Pretty much. Oh, that hurts so much. Let's get out of here. Why does it have a force field? Kill Fat Overlord. Oh my gosh. Oh, minions do so much, have so much health. What the heck? I can't outrun them. I'm dead. Oh, there you are. Hi, friend. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Oh, that's my wyvern. Oh, that's...
Oh, rip.
Oh, there it is.
These ones are.
Stamina drained. Something's drained my stamina.
Here's my seconds.
I got that stamina drain thing you're talking about, Protorax. No clue what actually hit me.
Done this, I will get back to zombie. Oh, big damage. Big damage.
Big damage, even bigger health pool. Dead.
Oh, yes, sir. It's night time. You can dodge Easter. Almost.
Oh, it's the megas. That's why I'm taking so much damage. No,
Megas.
the megas
Oh.
came back to me.
Oh, rip.
I didn't realize the megas are coming back. Oh, the fire wyvern's still here, by the way.
Hit the wyverns and then with extra strong especially they do hurt quite a bit.
Oh my god, there's so many minions. Vortex.
Yeah. Oh no, we died!
I died.
And with that final death and the killing blow to the Titan Overlord at the same time, marks the end of my journey in docks. This is truly Ark's hardest mod. Thank you for watching and enjoy this next video.